Yeah, good afternoon. Just we have today another episode of golf on golf architect and architecture rather, and we have a guest from India. He is Mr. Vijit Nandrajog. First of all, I like to welcome him, Mr. Vijit Nandrajog. I welcome you to our show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nugu. Thank you for having me here.
Okay. So as you see, today we have a different background with a golf course designing rather. And I've got an opinion to get this background for this show from our guest. So to start, Mr. Vijit Nandrajog, because your name is very difficult, I have to read it, I have to see it and then pronounce it.
You can just call me. Call me Vijit. I think that would be easier.
Mr. Vijit, I can go with Mr. Vijit, I think, yeah. Okay, this is my basically, I want to ask this question to you. You are a golf architect and you have been also an amateur golfer, as I came to know from others. In India for 3 to 4 years, you played in amateur golf in good circuit, I mean in national circuit, and then all of a sudden you took this career. Why did you change your career from a golfer to this architect?
Yeah, so I played the amateur circuit for, like you said, 3-4 years, played competitive golf at a decent level. I was a good player, making good top 5, top 10, top 20 finishes regularly on the national circuit. But I selected this career mainly for two reasons. Number one, primary reason was I didn't believe my game was good enough to become an international level golfer. And those days, there was not too much money on the Indian circuit in golf. And secondly, my passion, even while I was a golfer, was always, I used to read about how golf courses are built, how they are designed, watch a lot of, stuff like international matches, just to understand what kind of golf courses we have here against the golf courses abroad. So the passion was always about designing and constructing golf courses. So I found out about a golf architectural course in Scotland, which is the only college that provided a master's degree in golf architecture in that day. So I applied there and I got through, and I came back after doing my studies and I started my own company here after that.
That's great. Mr. Vijit, how did you become this? As I know, you're the first certified architect, golf architect in India. Tell us your expertise and experience. How did you come up to this? I mean, I know that there had been number of architects basing on their experience. They had been doing all this architecture or design, all this code design for a long time in India and also in Bangladesh, in other countries, third world countries. Basically, it goes with the experienced expert people that claim themselves. But you are the certified, qualified man on the subject. So how you attain this qualification?
Yes, like you correctly said, in the past in India and countries like Bangladesh, mostly people who have had the experience of playing golf for a number of years or building golf courses, typically army men who've had the experience of building golf courses in their regiments, they were the ones who were designing and building golf courses. And while I was playing golf at the amateur level, I saw a big void in the industry. Like I didn't see, proper certified golf course designers working in India. You had a few international designers coming in, big names, big signature names working in India, but nobody from India itself. So, like I said, I found out about a golf architectural course in Edinburgh, Scotland, that were offering a master's degree in golf architecture, and I happened to apply there and get in, and so took it from there. I worked for a few months in Scotland while I was studying. I got to see a lot of different golf courses there, and got to see a lot of golf courses being built and designed while I was studying there, which helped me. So when I came back, luckily it was I happened to be the first one to have a certified degree in this field when I got back, and there was a big demand for all that, I think, in the country back then also. So I was fortunate to be to have done that at the right time, I feel.
Okay. I think I have just missed a button. Okay. So it's great to learn. So great to hear at least your experience in qualification. Now,
Right.
if I start how it should be what should be the basic concept of designing a golf course? I mean, what should we follow, at least the basics?
Right. So I would like to answer this in basically two parts. Number one, when we're designing a golf course, there's a lot of research and analysis that goes behind the scene. So when you're building a golf course, it is very important to select the right kind of site to build a golf course. So by that I mean, not only should the site be good for building a golf course, but it should be accessible, and plus the soils should be good, the topography should be good, so all that needs to be analyzed before the project is ideated. So typically what I'm trying to say is, if you were to build a golf course, you would look for land which has very nice topography with gently rolling landscape, nice mature trees. I'm talking about the ideal situation for a golf course site, and against a site where there are a lot of rocks, let's say, or very steep hills. So obviously building a golf course there would be much more difficult than building a golf course on an ideal site. So it starts from picking the right site, picking the right size of the site for building the kind of project that you are building, and then everything is governed by what type of golf course you want. So a type of golf course, by me that I mean a championship level golf course where you have to have, maybe the vision is to have an international level tournament, or if you want to build a public facility, or if you want to build an executive kind of a golf course. So that would be the starting point for all the decision making. So let's say, just to answer the question, if you have a requirement for a championship level golf course, so right from the site selection to the size of the site, everything would be governed by that. Now coming to the design principles, if you may call it. So we have basically three main schools of architecture in golf. One is the penal design architecture school, where you have, you make the golf course extremely difficult, or a particular golf hole very difficult. So if you see a golf hole which has bunkers on both sides of the fairway, bunkers on both sides of the green, it is a very penal kind of a design. There is only one way to play that hole, which is on the fairway and onto the green.
Okay.
The second school of line is basically a strategic design, where you have, let's say, a bunker only on one side of the fairway and bunker only on one side of the green. So typically you would want to have a risk reward kind of a scenario, where you, off the tee, if you take some risk, you should be rewarded on your second shot. So if you place your ball close to the bunker on the tee shot, you should have an easier shot in to the green. The third school is a heroic design school, where you have multiple options of play from the tee. So for example, you have a water body at an angle, so you can pick your line where you want to go off the tee depending on how far you can carry it. So a good design has to be a combination of all these different schools of thoughts. You cannot have 18 holes built purely on a penal school of architecture.
Yes, okay.
A
Okay.
golf course will
Yeah.
become very difficult. So there have to be some different kinds of things. Basically, what we are trying to achieve when we are building a golf course or designing a golf course is to have a lot of variety. So what my motto is when I'm designing a golf course, it should be enjoyable to play for golfers of all abilities. When you have a scratch player, he should be challenged when he's playing that particular course. But if you put a 20 or 22 handicapper on the same golf course, he should have fun also. He should be challenged, yes, of course, but it should not be penalizing for him unnecessarily. He will not come back to the golf course again. So having a balance between that, then a very important point is to have variety of holes. So, when you're talking about a par 72, which has become a norm these days, so having four par fives and four par threes, there is no rule of that sort. But if you were to design a golf course of that sort, it is very important to have par threes of different lengths playing into different directions, so that the wind plays a different factor on every hole. The golfer is faced a different challenge on every hole. So to give variety, that is probably what you call spice of life. Even on a golf course, it'll be very monotonous if every par four is 450 yards, plays the same way. So you have to have a mix of dogleg left holes, dogleg right holes, short par fours, long par fours. Give the golfer some opportunity for birdie holes. Some holes would be tough. Some par fives would be easy to reach into. Some par fives would be difficult to reach into, etc., etc. So those are broadly what we are trying to achieve whenever we are designing a golf course. But like I said, everything starts from what the requirement is. So if you were planning to build a public facility where majority of the golfers are going to be beginners or high handicappers, the design would be such where there's minimal uh, hazards of in play. Rough would be minimal so that lost balls are not there. Pace of play would be quick. So all that is governed by what type of golf course you want typically.
Okay, great. It's great to listen all this. Yeah. A lot of also questions I'm getting, and these are all maybe regular audience of this show. Many
Sure.
of them I know. So few of the questions I am taking from the audience, like
Mhm.
as you said, how to design. Mr. Jagamundu Rai, he wants to know design of. You have said something. Mr. Rafitul Islam, what is slope rating and course rating? Yeah. So here I want to ask a question like, what should be an ideal area space for a 9-hole and 18-hole? Why am I asking this question? We often see in third world countries, even earlier I have seen in Europe also, like in England and also Scotland. Now they have changed the concept, and America has gone in total different concept. Like if we have a 150 acres of land for the 18 hole, then 50 acres is spent for clubhouse in third world country like Bangladesh. So
True.
almost one third of the area is spent for clubhouse. So what
True.
should be the ideal
Mahmood, I lost you. I can't hear you.
course and the
I
distribution
think
of
this.
that clubhouse and yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. Yes. So go ahead, please. You're talking about the area of the golf course, yes?
Yeah, yes, I'm talking about area of the close. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So typically, again, it comes back to what kind of golf course you want. What type of golf course are we building? If the golf course is part of let's say a real estate project, where you will have villas or some kind of property around the golf course. Obviously, the safety margins between the holes and the properties have to be maximized. So you would require more space. So even if the golf course is the same yardage and the same par, if you put the real estate there, it will require more land because we would want to create more buffer between the real estate and the golf course. Against a golf course which is purely built on, let's say, farmland where there is nothing around it, or let's say you have sea on one side. So the safety margins reduce. But like you rightly said, these days with the technology advancing at a very fast pace, balls are flying much further, much higher. 150 acres is considered to be the minimum area to build a proper championship level 18-hole golf course. Obviously, you have examples of even world-class golf courses where you've had, like I can cite an example of Marion Golf Course where you had the US Open a few years ago. I think
Yeah,
that, if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken, that is built in 110 or 115, 20 acres. So, plus in India, you have many, many examples of very, very, very good golf courses which have been squeezed into smaller parcels of land. But you are always going to face some safety concerns. Like, if you envision a golf course which is built in 90 acres, you will have a lot of parallel holes where balls will fly from one hole to the other, causing safety concerns for golfers playing within and also the surrounding area of the golf course. So, as a benchmark, 150 acres is pretty good for an 18-hole golf course. But is space is a concern. You can squeeze in 18-hole golf course in 80, 90, 100 acres also, but the par will not be the same. You can reduce the pars. You can have shorter holes. It can still be a very, very challenging and very, very exciting golf course. I'm not sure if the audience knows that a lot of golf courses, 70 to 80% of the top ranked golf courses in the world. If you look at the top 20 golf courses in the world, I think 50, 60% of them are not even par 72 golf courses. So if the land is limited, instead of squeezing in a 72 par golf course there, you can why not build a 70 par, which would be safe to play and still be challenging. There are other ways to make the golf course challenging rather than just length and par. So for a 9-hole golf course, you can halve it. Let's say 70, 75 acres is a decent amount of space for doing a 9-hole golf course. But like you said, the other facilities like the clubhouse, maintenance facilities to park equipment, etc., etc., takes a lot of space, and unfortunately, a lot of people these days give more importance to the clubhouse than the golf course. Like, we are doing a couple of projects where our area for golf course has been squeezed down because, the client wants more space for the real estate and wants more space for the clubhouse. So very often the golf course is slowly squeezed into lesser spaces. But the best thing to do is to reduce par and reduce yardage, and you can fit in a 9-hole golf course and 18-hole golf course in any parcel of land, basically.
Hard. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be a balance, right? I go with your point. There should be a balance. Like modern
Absolutely.
days, people in America, the theory they follow is just having a sitting area in clubhouse, basically. So their
Sure.
construction very small courses, as you say. Even US Championship also took place before US in a course of 110 acres. Yeah. So thank you for that point. Now, I am also a rules official, as I already told you, as a rules official, I also at times think about the course design. Like there is a relation between close course rating, slope rating, and also course design. Like once you put some design like T location, green location with the fair and the hazards location, as you said, the difficulty level goes ups and down. I know the finding out the course rating and slope rating is the job of rules official, that to by national body. I mean, golf federation or golf professional golf association or whoever are conducting the tournament in a championship course. So, but from a course architect, I mean, golf architect point of view, you say that, yeah, it is the owner decision. It's the course owner decision who will call what should be the level of difficulty, and that will dictate the slope rating and course rate, especially slope rating. So can
Exactly.
you relate that? I mean, in our subcontinent, often we find we face this problem as the rules official. We often go and find before 1 month I found a hole is here, a green is here, and next time I go to contact a corner, I find the green is totally shifted to another location. So that
True.
makes my calculation all topsy turvy. What's about that? What should be the ideal? What's your view?
Absolutely. Like you said, all golf courses, I believe, must have an association, some kind of relation with any golf consultant or golf architect. Any
Right,
changes you make, like you very correctly said, any
right,
changes you make to the golf course has a huge impact on the slope rating, course rating, and the way the golfers are going to enjoy the
right,
game there.
right,
Just redesigning a green, lot of committees, a lot of clubs do it themselves
yeah,
without knowing the implications in long run for that. you
right.
know so all that, having, like, if you go to Scotland or Ireland or the UK, anywhere in the UK, all the
Or
golf
in the
clubs,
USA or America or even
yes, they will have some kind of relation with a golf architect. Even if there is
yes,
no work going on,
yeah,
they will
yeah,
have some consultant who signed up for that particular golf course, so that if
right,
something is needed, you get
right,
proper advice,
right,
sound advice from the expert.
right, right.
So, to answer the second part of the question, like whenever we're designing a golf course, the slope rating and course rating is somewhere in the back of our minds.
Okay, okay,
So if you're doing a golf course, let's say with a real estate around it, you would not want to make a very, very difficult golf course, because the owners at the real estate properties would probably not be very, very good golfers. You're not building a championship level course. So we target what kind of slope rating we want to start with, roughly. But we don't go by any fixed numbers, but we have an idea. Okay, this is the golf course which should be more enjoyable rather than challenging. So the average rating, if I'm not mistaken, of all the
110,
golf courses in the USA is about 120. That is the
110,
average
yeah,
course rating of golf
yeah,
courses.
slope rating, yeah,
And slope rating, sorry, yes.
yeah,
And the
55
maximum
to
you can go
15,
is
yeah,
155. Correct. It can
yeah,
go up to 155. So
yeah,
if you were to design a golf course which is primarily going to be used by average golfers, you would not want to go beyond 130,
yeah.
130, 35,
It should be,
unnecessarily.
I think it is 55 to 130, yeah. And
Correct,
the
correct,
average is a standard one, 120 around, yeah, 110 to
correct.
100, yes.
120 is the average. That is the
Average, yeah,
average.
yeah, right, right.
So having a golf course of about 120 is going to make everybody happy.
Yeah,
All the average golfers are going to be happy. The
yeah,
challenging,
still, yeah,
the scratch golfer is still going to be challenged a little bit. So all that definitely plays a role when we're
yeah,
designing a golf course. But like you correctly said, we are not the ones who are going to put the number down for the
Yeah.
client. That is going to be done by the officials, rules
Yeah.
officials. Yes.
Correct. This is a very important point because in your controls, if I'm in Assam, the boy, I found last time I found a tea is located here for walking problem, or somebody has hit a ball that has struck a audience. He has taken the tea at least 20 years, shifted the tea somewhere else. So, and I asked this, I mean, management. Basically, these are now done by management of a club. So
Right.
management official without having any knowledge on slope rating or course rating,
Right.
any knowledge on the impact, that should be done by the proper expert like you. Only should be done
Absolutely.
by the golf course architect. But in
Without a
our
doubt.
country, as we don't have a certified architect, we depend on homeopathic doctor. Understand? Homeopathic doctor like me, or
True.
someone who has experience of 50 years or 30 years or 20 years playing golf, or a
Correct.
professional golfer who has a vast experience of 50 years. He is
Correct.
going and just doing an operation like without understanding the impact of what is going to be change going to impact on the score or the slope rating or all this. Or owners walking, he fell, this tree is not looking good at me. Just cut
Correct.
it down this tree. So
I was
yeah,
about to say things like even plantation. You have a lot of cases where a new committee comes into a golf course and they
yeah,
say, okay, we want to plant 500 trees, without thinking about
yes,
where to plant trees.
uh,
So not only does that affect the aesthetics of the golf course, but it affects the
mm,
slope rating and course rating also
yeah,
tremendously.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
So that's why I
yeah,
said having a relationship with a golf architect is very,
yeah.
very
He's
important. Like existing golf course has a master plan, they have a vision where to
uh,
go, created by a golf architect. All the improvements can be done as per that.
yeah. Especially for championship, for championship tournaments, where championship tournaments take place, there
Mhm.
is must. It is must to take advice from architect. Wherever you go
Absolutely.
for like Asian Tour, European Tour, or even national level tour, professional golf tour takes place. Those courses
Correct.
must be consulted with a golf architect. Those who are
Absolutely.
listening to this episode, I find a lot of audience are logged in. So I would only request listen to this architect, certified architect, what he's saying. We have more than 25 courses in Bangladesh, but maximum of are those, uh, except one or two. We don't have any international courses. Maximum are not international, only because those are developed by, I mean, not proper architect, and at times international courses, international rules official, they don't feel favorite or don't feel referred to conduct tournaments there. It is because of your designing fault. Okay, let me come back to another questions. As you have been saying, designing a golf course, first it starts with the planning of the owner, how difficult level he wants, what kind of, as you said, different theories. So, but what should be a rough estimate or budget maybe for developing, I mean, building a new course or a design? First of all, I want to know developing a new course, approximate, and then redesigning. Like I have already a 9-hole course. I want your help to restructure this. So, what may
Right.
be the difference between these two budgets?
So a lot would depend on the kind of site we are dealing with. Obviously, what kind of soils there are, what kind of topography. So if you're talking about a brand new golf course, it can cost anywhere from, let's say, Indian 10 lakh rupees to maybe 70 lakh rupees an acre. Depending
Okay.
on what kind of site we're dealing with, what kind of quality we want. If the vision is to have an international level tournament there, you would need to have those kind of grasses, a very, very high quality drainage system, very high quality irrigation system, imported grasses, and all that. So the cost will go up. But at the same time, there are prime examples of golf courses built abroad also, which have been built on very, very little money, which are still considered to be top golf courses in the world. Why? Because the site was very, very conducive to building golf courses. So if you have a site which is pure sand, which has natural topography, you would not need to change too much of the land. In fact, it will be foolish to change the natural topography of the land in that case. So you would not require that level of drainage systems. You would not require that level of earth moving equipments to move around there on that particular site. So the cost of construction would be very, very low. These days, internationally, there have been a lot of golf courses where uh, very little earth has been moved. In fact, golf architects have said a lot of golf courses I have seen myself of these nature, where only greens and tees have been placed. The fairways and roughs are all natural. They were as they were on ground created by Mother Nature. and they are still considered to be top golf courses in the world. So it's not compulsory that to build a very, very high level golf course, you'll have to spend a lot of money. So you have to pick the right site and then accordingly spend the right kind of money to bring it to the level where you want to get. Now, for the existing golf courses, you know, uh, again, the scale of renovation or remodeling that might be required on a particular site would change on a particular existing golf course. But in my experience, I've seen if you improve the greens and the bunkers on any existing golf course, it takes the golf course to the next level easily. 70, 80% of the game is played on or around the greens. So if the
Okay.
greens are built to very, very good level, good bunkering around them, nice slopes, etc. So you the golf course comes to the next level automatically. And all these things for existing golf courses, the best way to do it is in phases. So for most of the golf courses that we work with, we give them a master plan of this is where you are, this is where you need to be, let's say 7 years down the line. This is all you need to change. But you do it every year. Every year you take up 2 holes, let's say, or you take up 6 greens only. Then you add tees later, or you add bunkers later. So all that can be done phase wise. Very, very often committees pick only 1 or 2 holes to do every year, which is not a problem. Whatever budgets allow, you do improvements as per your budgets, your resources available. But as long as you have the master plan in place so that you know which direction the golf course is moving in, that is the most important thing for existing golf courses. So for golf courses in Bangladesh, I'm sure the situation is very, very similar to what we have in India. A lot of old golf courses have been built without expertise, with very, very minimal budgets, I assume.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all those can be improved slowly, slowly. There's no need to completely shut down the golf course and so that the members can also not enter the course. There's no need to do that. You can have a phase-wise improvement plan for your golf course. Do it phase by phase. Do it slowly. Make temporary greens for the golfers to play. All that can be done. If the budget's allowed to do it in one phase, nothing like it. But if they don't allow it, even then your golf course can be improved very, very nicely in a planned manner.
That's great. Okay, so let me read some comments from audience
Yeah.
still. Somebody is want to know what should be how the education on golf architecture is done. I mean, by that question, he wanted to know from where he can learn golf architecture. Maybe he has heard your words. Okay, what
Right.
should be ideal time for Jagabandhu Rai, known guy for me, time for constructing a 18 hole, and yourself how many years in the golf architect. So if I summarize these three questions is yeah, you
Right.
said you have learned it from like you said Scotland.
Edinburgh,
So
Scotland. Right. Right.
also in India I think now it is available. I think education on golf architect, do you
Unfortunately,
teach any and
Unfortunately, there is no course right now in the entire world that offers a
okay,
golf architecture degree or diploma. There used to be
okay,
two back till about 4 or 5 years ago, but
okay,
they have shut down. Even the course that
okay,
I did is not in continuance now. So,
okay,
but most of the golf architects abroad, even the top architects abroad, most of them have been landscape architects who have
okay,
done their specializing in golf architecture. A lot of them have been
okay,
engineers who've gone on to become golf architects. So
okay,
the training part of it is very, very difficult, unfortunately, now. Since the last
okay,
5, 7 years, when the golf industry went downwards, these
okay,
courses shut down, unfortunately. So that
okay,
answers that question. I've been in this line since 2007.
okay.
Uh,
Long time, 14 years.
so it's
Yeah.
been a while, yes. And what was the third question? The second.
How much time it takes for a 18 hole to construct?
Right. So if typically 18-hole golf courses usually are constructed in 2 phases, nine holes and 9 holes. So it takes 2 years basically. So you do the construct, or if you can do it in one phase, I believe it can be done in 12 to 14 months, the construction. Then after you do the construction, you have to give it at least 4 to 5, 6 months for the grass to grow properly. So you're talking about a year and a half to 2 years minimum for a 18-hole golf course to be built and to be ready for play.
Okay, that's
Typically.
great. Okay, so basically, as you said, about the education itself, because I am also interested to know about it. A lot of audience was, I mean, putting some opinions, I mean, questions on this. Edinburgh, Scotland. There is no university now where this architecture is there. Many universities in worldwide, but then you mean that this golf architect is now part of that architect study education?
Where I went, it was a landscape. Basically, it was an art school. It was the Edinburgh College of Art.
Okay,
So you had arts
okay,
courses and landscape architecture courses. So golf architecture was a part of that. So now, unfortunately, there is no college in the world that offers a golf architecture degree or a diploma anywhere.
okay, okay,
So if anybody is interested in becoming a golf architect, the best way to do that, if you want formal education, is to become a landscape architect, specialize in golf courses, or
okay.
you study golf. The more you see different kinds of
Yeah,
golf courses, the more you travel, the
yeah,
more you learn.
yeah,
That's the best thing.
yeah,
So a lot of top golf architects in history have
yeah.
started off with no experience, but they worked on site with some other golf architect, and they learned 4 5 years working with them, and then started their own practice. Typically that's how it is usually.
But so you want to mean there is no certification now? I mean, certification is at not no level.
No
How can I
level
understand?
certification for designing. There are a lot of golf course management colleges for maintaining turf grass. There are a lot of courses that you can do. You can do a lot of golf course management courses, but no
Okay, okay,
architecture courses at all in the world.
okay, okay. So
Yes.
how do I certify a person golf architect? Without certified architect, then we go on, or how can we get in future the import of human resources golf architect?
Hopefully, Vijay Mahmood, because the US golf industry a few years ago was a little low. Now, as things are picking up, I'm sure there'll be these courses are going to bounce back. It's a matter of few years.
Okay,
Why they shut down was because they didn't have enough students coming in and applying for these courses. So there was no point in running these
okay,
courses when
okay,
you have three,
okay,
four, five students coming in and being interested. So as the interest goes back in the
okay,
sport, these courses are also bound to restart for sure.
okay. Okay. So for time being, it can be like a course maintenance course. Like in India, also we found there is a golf course superintendent and golf management course association. In Asia also there is
Correct.
one, Golf Industry
Correct.
Association. So they conduct some courses on golf course maintenance, golf course superintendent course. From there, they may also learn something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So
Okay.
even there's a university called Navsari University in Gujarat, which is supported by our
Yeah.
association, which is the GCS&MAI. So they also conduct a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
nice program for turf and golf management. And you have a
Yeah.
little bit of golf construction and design elements taught there also. So it's a very
Wing
kind of a
Commander Varun
holistic.
Singh. Wing Commander
Yeah,
Varun Singh
so
also.
that association, correct. He's the president of the association, and I am the
Okay.
general
Okay.
secretary for the association. So we
Oh,
support
same
that
association.
same association. Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
that's good. That's what I was talking to him before 2 episodes, twice. Yeah,
Correct. I
that's what
heard.
I'm telling. Yeah, that is the right association. Yes, it is.
Correct.
Something like Asian Golf. You have also had ties with Asian Golf Federation, where this course maintenance can be learned.
So we have unofficial tie-ups. Yes, we have support
Okay.
systems with other, but there's no formal tie-up as yet with any international association. But this
Great.
university course is supported by our association, and you've got a lot of.
Okay.
I think it's been running for the last 5 6 years now, and we've got a lot of students coming out who've joined the industry already as golf course construction specialist or maintenance specialist also.
Okay,
So
that's
that's
great.
one
Because
option that can be looked at for sure.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you have also very good ties with Scotland, with some association also. Yeah, American golf industry. I wish. Yeah. Okay,
Correct.
that's
Yes.
great. So thank you very much for your expert opinions on this. We had other comments also. So had you been in Bangladesh at any time before? No.
I would love to. Now that I know you, I have a friend there. I'm sure I'll be there very, very soon.
Okay. So because a lot of new courses is coming in Bangladesh, coming up, but then old courses also are there, about 20, around 20, and it's all maximum are all managed by defense cantonments or army, but then 4 and 5 are
Right.
outside, and more 1 or 2 whole courses with the 5-star hotel, 3-star hotel outside. So in total there will be around 30 golf courses, I understand, in Bangladesh now. But people are contacting for developing new courses, and so it will be a great help if our audience has watched this. They will learn definitely. Thank you very much, Mr. Vijit Nandrajog. If you have anything to say for us?
So thank you so much for having me, and I think you're doing a fantastic job creating awareness of the game, and hope we can contribute in a small way to this wonderful endeavor of yours. And it'll be great if I can be of help to Bangladesh golf in any way, in a professional level.
Thank you very much. At any level, I'll try to contact you. I have your number, yourself, and Mr. Wing Commander Arun Singh. I must say, he's a moving. I found he's very knowledgeable on golf, very
Absolutely.
knowledgeable on golf. So
Yeah.
of course, I will contact wherever we
Sure.
feel necessary to contact you. Thank you very much,
Sure.
Mr. Vijit
Thank you.
Nanda.
My pleasure.
With this, what I want to finish. If you don't have anything to say,
Thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
thank you. My pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Good afternoon then. Good afternoon. Yeah.